The day my son looked me in the eyes and said, "It's my house now," was the day he thought I had nothing left. He stood in the living room I paid for, under the roof I built, pointing at the door like I was a guest who had overstayed. He didn't know that in my pocket was a folded piece of paper that could change everything. And when I finally unfolded that paper and showed him the deed, the silence in that room was louder than any argument we had ever had. Before I tell you what happened next, let me say this. If you believe parents deserve respect, take a second right now to like this video and subscribe to Stories of Mr. Dreamer. This channel is where I tell the stories people are too afraid to say out loud. And trust me, this one hit close to home. My name is Daniel. I'm 62 years old. I've worked 35 years as an electrician. Long days, long nights, missed birthdays, missed vacations. Every extra dollar I made went into one dream, a house that my family would never lose, a place where my wife and son would always feel safe. When my wife passed away 5 years ago, the house got quiet, too quiet. It was just me and my son Marcus. He was 28 at the time, smart kid, charming when he wanted to be. But somewhere along the way, he started believing that everything I had was automatically his. At first, it was small comments. "Dad, you don't need that much space," or "When the house is mine, I'm going to renovate this kitchen." I would laugh it off. I thought he was joking. I thought it was just youth talking. But things changed after he lost his job. Marcus moved back home, saying it would be temporary. I didn't hesitate. Of course he could come back. That's what fathers do. I cleared out his old room. I paid for groceries. I covered the utilities. I even gave him some cash to help him get back on his feet. Months passed, no job, no interviews, just late nights and loud phone calls. Then one evening, he came into the living room with a serious look on his face. "Dad," he said, "we need to talk about the house." I muted the TV. "What about it?" He sat across from me like we were negotiating a business deal. "It doesn't make sense for you to control everything. You're older now. I should start managing things." I felt something shift in my chest. Managing what? The property. The bills. It's going to be mine anyway. I stared at him. Going to be and is are two different things. "Son?" He didn't like that answer. Over the next few weeks, his tone changed. He started inviting friends over without asking. Rearranging furniture. Talking about his future house. One night I overheard him telling someone on the phone, "Yeah, once I officially take over, I'll refinance it." Officially take over? That's when I realized something important. My son didn't just feel entitled. He had convinced himself the house was already his. One afternoon, he crossed a line. I came back from the grocery store and my key didn't work. At first, I thought the lock was jammed. Then the door opened from inside. Marcus stood there. "Oh yeah," he said casually. "I changed the locks. Security reasons." "Security?" I asked slowly. "Yeah, and from now on, just let me know when you're coming and going. It's easier." I felt my hands shake, but I kept my voice calm. "This is my house." He laughed, actually laughed. "Dad, come on. It's my house. It's always been my house. You just live in it." That sentence. I can still hear it. You just live in it. I walked past him without another word. I went into my bedroom and sat on the edge of the bed my wife and I used to share. I looked around at the walls we painted together, the floors I installed myself, the mortgage statements I paid every single month, and I made a decision. Here's what Marcus didn't know. 3 years earlier, after my wife passed, I had quietly transferred the property into a family trust, not in his name, not jointly, completely under my control, with specific instructions about what would happen in the future. Why did I do it? Because I saw the signs. I saw the entitlement growing. I promised myself that love would never blind me to reality. The next morning, I called my lawyer. "Is everything still secure?" I asked. "Completely," she said. "The house is protected. No one can touch it without your signature." Good. That evening, Marcus confronted me again. "Dad, we need to talk about paperwork. I've been thinking. It's time to put the house in my name. For tax reasons." "For tax reasons," I repeated. "Yeah, it's smarter. Trust me." I nodded slowly. "You want to see the paperwork?" He smirked. "Right, finally." I walked to my desk, opened the drawer, took out a large envelope. My hands were steady now, calm. I came back into the living room and placed the papers on the coffee table. "Go ahead," I said. He grabbed them confidently. I watched his face as he scanned the first page. The smirk faded. His eyebrows tightened. He flipped to the next page, and the next. "What is this?" he asked. "It's the deed," I said quietly. He looked up at me, confused. "It says it's owned by a trust." "Yes. Where's my name?" "It's not there." The silence that followed felt heavy. "Real? You transferred it." "I secured it." His voice rose. "Why would you do that without telling me?" I held his gaze. "'Cause it's my house." He stood up. "You don't trust me?" I didn't answer right away. I didn't need to. That night he barely spoke to me. The next few days were tense, cold, but something had shifted. He realized he didn't have control, and that scared him. A week later, he tried a different approach. "Dad," he said softer, "I was just trying to plan for the future." "I am planning for the future," I replied. "Ew, what future? You're not going to live here forever?" That one hurt. But I kept my composure. "You're right," I said. "I won't. But until that day comes, this house is mine. Respect isn't optional." He didn't apologize. Instead, he started spending more time out of the house, talking to someone, whispering on the phone. I later found out he had been telling relatives that I was losing it, that I was becoming paranoid, that I might need help managing my affairs. Help managing my affairs. He was building a story, a narrative where I was unstable, so he could step in. When I heard that, I didn't get angry. I got strategic. I invited him to sit down one Sunday afternoon. "I've made some decisions," I told him. He folded his arms. "About what?" "About the house. About the future." He leaned forward slightly and, "I've updated the trust." His eyes widened. "Updated how?" I added conditions. "What kind of conditions?" I looked at him calmly. "The house will only go to you if you show financial independence, stable employment for 3 consecutive years, and proof that you can maintain the property." His jaw tightened. "You're testing me? And protecting what I built?" He stood up again, pacing. "This is ridiculous. I'm your son." "Yes," I said, "and I love you." But love doesn't mean surrender. For the first time, he didn't argue back immediately. He looked uncertain. Weeks passed. Something changed. Slowly, he started applying for jobs, actually going to interviews. He stopped bringing friends over without asking. He even fixed the fence without me asking him to. One evening, he sat down across from me again. No arrogance this time. "I didn't realize how far I'd gone," he admitted quietly. I didn't respond right away. I wanted him to continue, I guess. I thought it was guaranteed, that I didn't have to earn anything. "That's not how life works," I said. He nodded. We didn't hug. We didn't have a dramatic movie moment. But something real shifted between us. 3 months later, he got a job. Entry level, nothing glamorous. But he showed up every day. Paid his own bills, contributed to the house. One night, he handed me an envelope. "What's this?" I asked. "First rent payment," he said. I looked at him, really looked at him. "You don't have to." "Yes," he interrupted. "I do." That's when I knew he finally understood. The house was never just wood and concrete. It was sacrifice, discipline, patience. A year later, I invited him to my lawyer's office. He looked nervous. "I've made another update," I said. His face tightened. This time I continued, "I added you as a future beneficiary. No conditions left. You've proven yourself." He didn't speak for a moment. Then he said something I never expected. "Thank you for not giving up on me." I smiled slightly. "Thank you for growing up. The deed never changed ownership while I was alive. It stayed exactly where it belonged. But what changed was something more important. Respect. Sometimes love means saying no. Sometimes the best lesson a parent can teach isn't through words, but through boundaries. If I had simply handed him the house when he demanded it, I would have lost more than property. I would have lost his chance to become stronger. If you're watching this right now, maybe you're in a similar situation. Maybe someone thinks your hard work automatically belongs to them. Remember, this kindness is powerful, but ownership matters. Boundaries matter. If this story made you think of someone, share it with them. And I really want to hear from you. Do you think I was too strict? Or did I do the right thing? Tell me in the comments. Your perspective might help someone else reading. If you believe that respect and family should never be optional, make sure you're subscribed to Stories of Mr. Dreamer. We share stories that remind people of their worth, their strength, and the power of standing firm. Because sometimes the strongest words you can say are simple. It's my house. And sometimes all it takes is showing the deed.